Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and joining me is Nick Hunsicker.
Yo!
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello.
This is our Week 9 Thursday Night Football and Sunday 1 o'clock game slate preview. How's Nick?
Terrific.
All right. Spending any time in the woods, you woodsman?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anything? Any luck?
No, nothing.
You keep sending that buck that you're seeing that's taunting you to our group chat.
He came twice on days that I was working, so I couldn't be out there in the woods. Both mornings he came through. I'm like, come on, man.
That's
Just
what
come
they
through
do.
One day.
Yeah. You just have to keep going and sitting, man. Take
Yeah.
some days off work.
Yeah.
Get out there and take a seat.
I wish I could.
Right. That's me for turkey
Yeah.
every year.
I want to be out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you do, man.
Yeah.
Demanding ass job. I hate it, right? All right, Nick,
Yo.
you could be a superhero. What would be your top 3 superpowers? This is a different one.
I like it. Teleportation.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to just zap myself to work in the morning. Save like the 40-minute drive there. Like super speed, like
the Flash.
Like the Flash, yeah.
Okay.
And then have like psychic powers, whether it be like, what's the one where you like move stuff?
Telepathy.
Like
telekinesis.
Something
Or-
like that. Or like if I could read your mind, like one of those two kind of thing.
Sure. Well, let me ask you a question though. What's the point of the speed and the teleporting?
I don't know. I guess, and I don't know.
Because you're just going to teleport where you want to be anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if it's in the same vicinity, like pew, 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 bouncing wherever you
Yeah,
want to go.
that's true. I guess,
Right?
yeah, the Flash can do that. Yeah, I guess it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just really like
Yeah.
to go fast.
Yeah, right. I would just love to be able to like also see into the future, I guess. That way I would hit so many parlays.
Hey.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. The ability to go back one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. How about you, Mitchell?
Well, I'm going to go with flying.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit fitting. So if I was to fly, I would also like to be able to regenerative heal. Like, you
Oh,
know,
that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You
such
know.
a good one.
I'm thinking like if I was in a fight, like, man, if I could fly around and like just go heal myself, that'd be pretty slick. And then kind of along the same lines what you're saying, be able to move stuff like with my mind and shit.
Yeah.
You
Like,
guys are
yeah.
killing me.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's my turn. Number 1 is telekinesis. Number 2 is flight.
Yeah.
And number 3, nobody said invisibility.
Yeah, of
Hey.
course. Yeah, that's always a
There you go.
classic. Yeah.
I want to be able to fly and nobody can see me while I'm moving stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, telekinesis was easily my first one. I like the healing,
Mhm.
being able
That's
to
a good
heal
one.
super quick.
Yeah,
that's-
that's good.
I almost went with invincibility, but I'm like, do I want to live forever?
Right.
Oh.
The world comes to an end, and you're just one superhero just sitting on a stump.
There's a lot of movies and
Nothing to
stories
save
about
now.
that. you
There's
know?
nothing to save.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
right.
I'm done.
Living too long might be a curse. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on to foosball. We'll start with Thursday Night Football, and we have the Texans at the Jets. Getting kind of hard to start CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it is.
There's plenty of other quarterbacks that I'd rather start this week. Only 4 games this year with 16 or more fantasy points.
And now he's lost top 2 targets.
Yep. Nico on IR. Diggs now on season-ending IR with an ACL. Leaves Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz, along with Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie, and Robert Woods.
Yeah, Bobby Trees.
Bobby Trees. Outside of Dell and Schultz, at least one other pass catcher needs to step up, right?
Right.
I don't know. It may hold no bearing on fantasy, right? But if we had to bet on one, who would it be?
John Mechie.
Me too.
I think so.
So it's a super tiny sample size. It's just, part of a game.
Yeah.
But Mechie out-targeted both Woods and Hutchinson.
Right.
When Diggs left. So Mechie with 4 targets to 1 for Hutchinson and 2 for Woods. Again, like it's 4, 1, and 2.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Mechie's been through a lot. That staff knows it. He can't be that much worse than Hutchinson or Woods.
Right.
Give that kid a shot. I'm kind of leaning to that. Plus, I think Mechie is a pretty good receiver.
He was very good in college.
He was. He really was.
It's super unfortunate that he had cancer, but
yes,
the guy is a talented receiver. He knows what to do.
Mm-hmm. And he looked good with his 4 targets. I mean, it wasn't anything.
It's the same as
insane,
Tank Dell. Tank Dell got 4 targets.
Right.
So.
Right. Luckily, Nico will be back soon, though.
Right.
It sounds like just a couple weeks.
Yeah, it should be around the corner.
Is it me or has Dell been a little concerning in a bigger role?
Yeah, 4 targets is not enough. I expected more from him even when Stefan was in the lineup. Just losing Nico alone.
So there's been some murmurs that I've caught wind of just reading and listening to other things. And I'm starting to wonder if some of those murmurs might be true about him maybe not being 100% healthy from the broken leg he got last year. Like maybe that's not quite as hindering him. You hear that from guys all the time. And then the next year it's like, yeah, I wasn't really fully healthy last year from the previous injury, but now I'm feeling great.
Right.
It could be one of those things, right?
Sure.
Because Tank Dell to me seems like he's a very legitimate NFL receiver. So I think it's very possible that you've got a guy out there that's like, 85% instead of 100, and that 15% is just enough to draw him down a little bit.
Right.
And he's not able to do the things that Tank Dell can do.
Right.
I mean, is as efficient as he normally would. So it could be that. It doesn't feel like it's going to get any easier or better this week. Would you like to fade Dell this week, or just because of the situation and the not a whole lot of mouths to feed, are you going to roll him out? Like he's flex.
Yeah.
Or in a 3 receiver league.
Right. Yeah. Wide receiver 3, flex, whatever.
That's where you are.
Yeah.
How good are you feeling about it?
I don't know. I guess better this week. I don't know. Somebody has to replace the 10 targets from Nico and the 9 from Stefan.
If it could just be a all hands on deck, spread it all over the place, and the only useful start is Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Could it be that?
Joe Mixon's the smash start.
Oh, yeah. 56 total touches in the last 2 weeks. They may have to lean on him like even more yet.
Yeah.
So with that said, can he survive this usage for you throughout the year? 56 total touches in 2 weeks, back to back.
And this is going to be a big week for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Najee Harris ran for 102 yards against them.
Yep.
Ray Davis ran for 97 yards against them.
You can run on the Jets.
Ramondre Stevenson scored 2 touchdowns. Like, this is a team that you can run on. No matter how good the defense is, they're clearly a weakness.
But how about your faith level in him surviving for you all the way through the year? With this, that's a lot. 50, I'll say it again. 56 total touches in 2 weeks.
And he's going to look at like another 25 tonight.
100%.
For Thursday, I mean.
Yep. Kind of scary going forward.
It is scary.
And when you look at his playoff schedule, it's even more terrifying. I hate to say this, maybe not yet, but just a little before your trade deadline, this might be, I don't know, this might be a sell high guy. Because that schedule, I'm sorry, I don't have it up. I really should. Let me just, so I can back up what I'm saying here. And his playoff schedule, week 15, 16, and 17. Week 15 is Miami. That's fine. That's actually great. Then it's Kansas City and Baltimore. So as much as you can throw all over Baltimore, they're tough to run on.
Yeah.
So it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Maybe we'll touch on that later in the year.
Yeah.
The Jet side, you're starting Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, and Garrett Wilson. Bounce back for Hall this week.
I hope so.
The stout Texans run D.
Yeah, that's the thing that worries me. I mean, they're ranked 13th, so they're not like world beaters, but they are good at it, But we saw him get 6 targets the week before, and then last week he only gets 1.
No.
He had 103, I think, receiving yards 2 weeks ago. Why wouldn't you go back to that?
Yeah, that could have just been taking it away. They could have. I mean,
the Patriots, don't get me wrong. Gonzalez is great.
Right.
But you're not taking away Wilson, Adams, and Breece Hall out of the backfield.
Right.
So Somebody has to get open.
I mean, again, you got to start him, right? So
Right.
you just hope it gets better. And again, it's not like Breece Hall has been the worst thing ever this year. It's not like he's been awful.
Yeah, I mean, he still had 80 yards rushing last week.
He's seventh among running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's top 10, but you kind of wanted more like inside the top 5.
Yeah, like top 3.
But he has 2 or 3 weeks of single digit points. I mean, in PPR, 3, a 6, and most recently a 9. But other than that, a 17, a 24, a 17, a 21, a 25. It just feels like a couple of those down weeks have really drug you down as someone who has Breece Hall. Not me, just anyone who does have him. But you just keep starting the guy. He's way too talented, uber talented.
Yeah.
As far as the receivers go, as of right now, I feel better starting Garrett Wilson than I do Devontae Adams.
Yes.
17 targets for Wilson since Adams arrived in New York. I could see it shifting some eventually once they start getting accustomed to,
I think that there'll be there's going to be games.
There is.
But
as of
for
now,
the most part, I think Garrett Wilson. Probably.
Today, as of right now, as we're sitting here talking, I'm going to go Wilson over Adams.
Yeah. And
I'm calling Wilson a receiver too, and I'm calling Adams a flex.
Yeah.
Until it changes. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just keep forcing it in there? Like, I'm not going to. Wilson's a 2, Adams is a flex.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Agree.
All right. Anything else for this one?
Nope.
Okay. Let's move on to the 1:00 games for Sunday, and we'll start with the Saints at the Panthers. Yay. Well, Derek Carr looks like he's coming back this week, so that's a silver lining, right? The Saints shredded the Panthers in week 1. Everybody has done the same thing basically since then. So back to feeling great about Kamara and Olave this week. Kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
That's all you're starting off this team. Kamara and Olave, that's it.
Right.
I don't really know what else to say. I mean, you would expect, a good day for both of them.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
There's no competition for Olave as far as pass catcher with Mason Tipton. Like, I mean,
no, just give me Kamara and Olave, and then I'm done with the Saints.
Olave is a what this week?
Wide receiver 1.
Yeah, matchup based.
Yeah,
he's a receiver 1 this week. I don't really know what else more to say here. I mean,
there's nothing.
You're starting Kamara, you're starting Olave. Looks like Dalton could return this week. Jonathan Brooks is right around the corner. Not quite ready, it doesn't seem.
Full practice today for the first time.
Okay. You think he plays this week?
I don't know.
If he does, you got to feel like it's got to be very minimal.
Yeah.
So, do you flex Chuba?
No.
I'll flex Chuba one more time.
Just in case. I'm nervous that Brooks comes in.
You should have moved him now.
You
should have moved him to the Brooks owner at this point. If you're not the Brooks owner,
right?
I would have.
Jonathan Brooks was pretty unstoppable in college, and he's had a lot of time to heal this leg up.
Oh, they're doing it right.
Yeah. So he could be 110% right now, and maybe they want to go limited. But what if he breaks off a 35, 15.
Yeah.
I'm too nervous to start Chuba.
All right. You know what? I'm not going to make a Chuba decision right now. I will wait for the news Friday.
I want the news.
Saturday. I want the news first. If Brooks is not returning, let's say that. I'll flex Chuba.
Then I'm flexing Chuba.
Okay. Yeah. Deontay Johnson traded to the Ravens.
On.
Yep. That bums me out. I have a lot of Zay Flowers stock, man. So much of it.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that affects him. At least a little.
I don't know.
Maybe not right away, but at least a little. Deontay Johnson's a good receiver.
Yeah. Deontay Johnson and Zay Flowers are 2 different receivers, though.
Yeah.
So, if anything, it helps Lamar Jackson find somebody else.
It's going to pull coverage away.
Yeah.
They're not just going to be able to swarm Zay anymore. So there is that part to it that's good, But we're talking Panthers, so your guy,
Xavier Legette.
Where are you at with him this week and going forward? And again, let's reiterate. It does sound like Dalton's coming back. That's better,
right?
I mean, it's not like yay, but it's better than Bryce Young.
This week, especially against the Saints, we're 28th against the pass. Whether I don't know that it matters if it's Bryce Young or I don't know. Dalton's obviously better, but I think Bryce Young can do something against a terrible defense. He looked okay.
What about Lattimore? That doesn't bother you at all?
Not anymore.
Really?
I'm kind of over it.
There is this thing with the Saints defense. It does look like it's like, are you guys just giving up?
Yeah.
Throwing in the towel?
That team seems like they checked out.
Yeah.
Which you've never seen from New Orleans.
It feels like Dennis Allen has finally just lost them.
Yeah.
He's like, it's been
Which we
brewing
expected,
up to this.
Yeah. We expected that to happen.
That's like the hottest seat in the NFL where that dude is on it's got to be like burning him up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay. Where you, so Legette's a what this week for you then?
Legette's a wide receiver 2 with like 1 upside this week.
I will fade.
And Coker is a flex.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Coker too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd prefer to avoid it. I just don't. I mean, if I have them and buys are killing me, different story.
Before Dalton got hurt, he was really liking Xavier Legette too.
The Bronco ride celebration up the sideline makes me like Legette even more.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when he did that.
He owns horses, dude. Yeah, it's his thing.
Yeah. He is a country boy.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. I do. Listen, I love Xavier Legette, man.
Yeah.
Like I hope I'm wrong. I'm fading all the Panthers outside of flexing Chuba. I need to see. I want to see Legette in this role by himself with Deontay Johnson gone. Like, I just want to see it more. That's all. So I will fade it until then, but it would not surprise me at all if Xavier Legette goes 5 for 85 and a score.
Right.
I really wouldn't. All right. Anything else for that?
JT Sanders disappointed last week, but with Johnson out of the picture, does JT Sanders get a boost?
I like him.
Yeah, me too.
I like him.
He was really good at Texas too. Another Texas guy who was hurt when he got drafted, but now he's starting to come through. So
yeah, he's a deep league stash. Love him in Dynasty.
Yeah, love him in
Dynasty.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Commanders at the Giants. Boy, the Giants had like a real chance to beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's just shoot ourselves in the foot over and over again. I don't know. Daniel Jones just isn't that dude. But if you're a Giants fan, I think there's silver linings on this team. Like there's real pieces with Neighbors, who you're obviously starting this week. Tyrone Tracy, who looked great before he left with a concussion. And Theo Johnson's coming around.
Starting to, finally.
There's some, it was minimal stuff, but it's like, that was a good play. That's some strong hands, like some sideline toe tapper. There's a couple of those plays. I'm like, Theo Johnson might be something. He is a buy in Dynasty if you haven't already. Yep. I like him a lot. I'm not, as far as redraft, I don't have any, interest this year, but I really like him in Dynasty. Yep. It's as the season goes on, it's just, I keep saying like, Theo Johnson looks a little better. I find myself saying that the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They're kind of incorporating him a little bit, which it's about time. Just not quite there for redraft, but he does seem like he could be promising. So again, you're starting Neighbors here. You're certainly flexing Tracy if he plays, though I doubt he will. They almost always miss at least one game with a concussion. And this happened Monday night, so he's got 1 day less than average.
Yeah.
Right? So with the protocol as it is, I don't see it.
And it is a good sign for when he does come back. He's owned the backfield the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
80-40 snap share.
Yes. So what about Singletary this week, though? If he doesn't play? I mean, it feels like you could flex him against the Commanders if you had to.
Could. Commanders' D-line's really good.
Yeah, their defense looks a little better as the season progresses.
The pass defense has gotten a little bit better. Their run defense wasn't really the issue. It was their pass defense.
St. Juice is still terrible. I'm sorry.
He's bad.
He's not good.
Yeah, he's not good. But
if he's not getting burned, he's causing atrocious penalties.
Yeah.
He's just not that good, man.
They have looked a little bit better. So maybe. I guess there's flex consideration.
5 weeks are back in play.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are hurt. I think you could do worse than Singletary in your flex if Tracy doesn't play.
Right.
If Tracy does, let's just say maybe he's an RB2?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that he's that much better than Singletary.
Yes, boy, it looks so much better, man. Yeah. Singletary just like runs into people.
Yeah.
Like he'll just like run into the back of his own dude and just fall down. Like, while I was watching that game when he came in for Tracy, and I'm like, well, this looks way worse.
Yeah.
I mean, this just looks way worse.
Tried to wear the 26. It just doesn't look like Saquon Barkley at all.
No. But again, backed into a corner, bye weeks, health. If you have to flex him, I think it's okay. I think he can get you to 10.
Yeah, I think you. Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say 11, so we're right there.
All right, good enough. Over to the Commanders. I love Jaden Daniels in every matchup, and I love him in this one too.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Giants fans.
Who's the corner there?
Which one? For the Giants?
Yeah.
Darnay Holmes is one of them.
Nope.
Is Adoree Jackson still there?
No, they're questioning his toughness, essentially, his effort. Banks.
Deontay Banks.
Deontay Banks. They benched him in that game. So they're now to even I don't know, man. If he stays benched, yikes.
Yeah.
Now, the Giants can be sneaky against the run. They can.
And they quietly lead the league in sacks. So
yes,
they're not a bad defense.
But now you're talking about chasing Jaden Daniels around,
a little bit different.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Either way, Daniels is a matchup proof asset as far as I'm concerned. Listen, guys who can get you there in more ways than one generally are matchup proof quarterbacks.
Right.
They just are. Other than the game that he got hurt in, he has scored less than 20 fantasy points one time.
Yeah.
That was way back in week 2. Set it and forget it.
Lamar Jackson light, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's set it and forget it. If he's there on your team, why are you even, just leave him there.
Yep.
Unless it's a bye week, leave him there.
Yeah.
In 2 straight weeks, McLaurin has scored 15 or more PPR points without being a touchdown.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love it. That's the wide receiver that I expected Terry McLaurin to be.
Yep. And that's a receiver too, solid across the board.
Right.
Every 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to get receiver 1 upside out of him too.
Yeah.
So, and the beauty of McLaurin is he's probably in your flex.
Right.
Unless, health. Maybe you made a trade by this point. Maybe he's your 2. But where you drafted him, essentially he's your flex. And that's pretty freaking great.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, barring bye weeks and injuries on your roster, probably your 3rd or 4th best receiver.
Yeah.
And that's pretty, as long as you drafted well, that's an awesome
Really
thing.
good. Yeah.
Brian Robinson is a what this week? This is where the Giants can be tough.
Yeah. I don't think I like Robinson.
It feels like things are going backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's been banged up, to be fair.
Yeah, he has been. And it seems like Eckler's getting more volume because of that. But I don't really like either one of them this week.
I'll call them both flexes. And it sucks because weeks ago, I think all of us were calling Brian Robinson an RB2.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I'll call them flexes this week. I mean, I think, again, this is another thing where it's it could do worse. Guys are hurt, bye weeks. I'm just not in love with it.
No, I'm not.
But 16 carries last week. I mean, it's not 65 yards. I mean, 4.1 per carry.
Volume is there.
He just didn't score a touchdown. The volume is there, though.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think I'll call Brian Robinson a flex, a higher end flex. I'll call Eckler mid-range.
Yeah, I guess I can flex Robinson, but I don't want Eckler. The Giants defense just scares me for rush.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else for that?
I don't think so.
All right, let's move on to the Dolphins at the Bills. Ready? This is really difficult. Are you ready for this? Rank the Bills receivers this week.
Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper.
Give me Coleman, Shakir, Cooper. So we just flip-flop the first 2.
Right.
All right. Advanced stats and metrics time. Are you ready?
Oh, I love it.
Keon Coleman, 8th in yards per target with 11.7. 5th in yards per reception with 18.9. He's also 15th in fantasy points per target with 2.1. His ADOT, average depth of target, 13.7 yards. That's 13th. now that he's rolling now.
Yeah.
I'm curious to get back because this is off of it's not a small sample size. He's being utilized more. So I'm going to give this a couple more weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to go back to the advanced stats and see if they grow for the better even.
This puts a big smile on my face because this is my wide receiver 3 coming out of the draft. So I love Keon Coleman.
Yeah, me and Ty were laughing. We did our rookies episode, then we did rookies revisited. I'm so glad we did.
I know. I heard you talking the other.
I was looking at some guys, before that episode, and I texted the group chat and I was like, guys, we need to do a rookie revisited because there's like 4 guys that I shat all over.
Yeah,
and
I need to cover my.
Well, you're trying to cover every single one of these guys, and you miss some things along the way. And
sure,
you dig a little deeper into tape once things calm down. And you find some things that make you go, oops, I want to cover myself before the season gets going. So I'm so glad. I'll say it again. So glad we did that episode. Yeah. 7 targets in back-to-back weeks. That's the most he's had in a game up to this point. The most he's had is 5 to this point. So
keep it rolling.
Yeah. Khalil Shakir. Some more advanced stuff. You ready? 6th in yards after catch, with 211 total at a rate of 7.5 yards after catch per target.
True.
7th in fantasy points per target with 2.5. 8th in fantasy points per route run with 0.58. 20.5% target share.
Man.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
He is an every week flex with insane upside any given week. I love both these guys. And you know what? Cooper's great and all, but you know what Cooper's really doing?
Taking away coverage. Opening these 2 up even more.
Yeah, I love these 2, man. Yep. This is their future right here, Coleman and Shakir.
Yeah.
And they're just going to rotate a 3rd guy every year or 2.
Yep.
This is I like it.
Me too.
I like it. This is how you beat the Chiefs right here.
I hope so.
I'm not saying it's going to happen right now this year.
Yeah.
But as the Keon and Shakir are very young. So obviously Keon's a rookie, but Shakir is only a couple years in, right?
Yeah, 26, I think.
Yeah. So going forward, this is huge for the Bills. High faith in James Cook this week against an absolutely terrible Dolphins run defense. I mean, you start him every week anyway.
Yep.
You're starting Kincaid, most likely. Averages around 7 targets a game. You could do a lot worse than that. But say you have another tight end on your roster.
Like Dalton Schultz.
No way.
Yeah.
Nah, give me Kincaid.
Especially now.
I've already seen that experiment.
Especially now.
I'll Kincaid. He's in here. All right. So let's start at the beginning. Kincaid or Ertz?
Ertz.
Kincaid or Schultz?
Schultz.
Lots of people dropped Mark Andrews. Maybe you picked him up. Kincaid or Andrews?
Kincaid.
The targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Ertz over Kincaid. There's just less mouths to feed, period. There is less mouths to feed with Schultz, but I am very unimpressed. I just don't like to me, he has to score a touchdown. Kincaid is pushing that.
Yeah.
Give me Kincaid's 7 targets that he's getting. He's another one too. I think things open up for him because of Cooper.
Yeah, but I think Schultz gets the boost, especially now, until Nico comes back.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
He definitely gets a boost. I'm just unimpressed with Schultz as a player. And listen, let me clarify something. Dalton Schultz has accomplished way more in his life than me. I am not. I'm not dumping on this dude. Just give me Kincaid's athleticism with the ball over Schultz. It's pretty much that simple. And you're talking to a guy who's had Schultz on his teams several times over the years. I'm not. Andrews. It does seem like things have picked up a little bit.
Yeah. He had 5 catches last week to Likely's 4. And Likely had more yards. I think Likely had 47.
5
for 36.
5 for 36 for Andrews. On 5 target, he caught them all.
And 4 for 47, I think.
Here's another thing for Andrews. I know we're on the Bills game, but 4 touchdowns in 3 weeks. I mean, that's I don't know. Give me Kincaid. I feel like I'm maybe should go the other way, but give me Kincaid.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to not start Tua. You're starting Achane. Any interest in Mostert as a flex?
No, that was a one-off, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll fade Mostert
Seemed
this
like
week.
he got goal line stuff.
Yeah. You're starting Tyreek Hill.
Right.
I am starting to lose faith in Jalen Waddle. So like I went and I looked at advanced metrics on him. Outside of like 2 or 3 different metrics, he barely cracks the top 30 in any category. Like he's not doing anything with his targets. It's like catch the ball immediately down. Like he's just not
running cardio.
Yeah. I get, now with that said, I get that the sledding has been tough for Miami. I understand that. But this exact thought right here, it stems from last year to now for me.
Right.
Like I wasn't a fan last year. So where are you on Waddle?
Low end flex.
And you can't really trade him.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, unless someone's really, really hurting, what are you going to do?
Yeah, low end flex.
Okay.
Best I'm probably going to give him the rest of the year.
I'd like to fade him. I just don't know that you really can.
I don't think that you
can't really stick Waddle on your bench unless, like in a 3-receiver league, there's no way.
Right.
In a 3-receiver league with a flex,
you're flexing them.
In a regular 2-receiver league with a flex, you might be able to get away
some
with that.
Guys
There's a
out
good
there.
chance you can get away
you
with
got
it.
Tillman
With health,
or something.
as long as you're healthy.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Give me Tillman over him. Yeah,
right.
For sure. Rest of season, Tillman or Waddle?
Tillman.
Give me Tillman.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to the Chargers at the Browns. For the Chargers, it's Dobbins and McConkey for me. I'll flex them both. McConkey feels like he's here now.
Yeah. Seems good enough. Quentin Johnston has been missing time, so
I feel like him coming back only helps McConkey.
I think it should.
That dude is so smooth with it.
Yeah.
His route running it's so good, and I regret so bad not going after him in dynasty formats a lot sooner.
You hate to make this comp, but he is Cooper Cup-ish.
Not ready to say that.
He's not on that level, I don't think, but his route running is very crisp, and that's what Cooper does.
I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Give him 10.
Well, here's the thing. I think it just feels so weird saying that. But that was my thing with McConkey coming out. It's just like, dude, what this guy does when he stems his routes, the intent that he runs his routes with, the fluidity. You might be onto something. I'm just not ready.
Would Hunter Renfrow be better? Because Hunter Renfrow was an elite route runner.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I don't understand
He's
that.
Still a free agent.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
He just like totally tossed aside.
Elite route runner.
I thought so. I thought he seemed great to me. I don't know. Yeah, you probably cannot go get McConkey now in a dynasty league. Good luck with that. As far as redraft, maybe. He's a flex still with pretty high upside. Herbert has thrown the ball 32 or more times in 3 straight weeks. Not that they're suddenly going to become some explosive, high-octane passing team, but they're clearly opening things up a little bit. Herbert's looking healthier. I'm in on McConkey.
Yeah, I like McConkey.
For the year, and obviously in Dynasty going way forward. I just think, I think from here forward, I think you're going to see what you kind of have to this point, honestly, a reasonably solid floor of around 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Chargers continue this trend even just a little bit, it's going to boost McConkey some weeks to the tune of like 15 or so PPR points. Like I think think that's reasonable to say, don't you?
I think so.
Okay. And Dobbins, we talk about him all the time. I love it. I love talking about Dobbins. I know this Browns defense is going to toughen up, play a little more,
So Koromo is not going to play this week.
Sure.
So
and that matters.
That matters.
But they got a QB now. And like Ty touched on it. All of a sudden that Browns defense is like, hey. Maybe let's pick it back up here, boys.
Yeah.
Like we got a quarterback now. Someone at least they can put some faith in, But until something changes with Dobbins, first of all, you can't really afford to avoid him. I don't know why you'd want to.
No.
Stay confident. Even if he does have a bit of a down week, he is still a flex with RB2 upside. I mean, to me, he's an RB2 every week. It's just where you got him. You really don't have to put him there.
Yeah.
Famous Jameis round 2. Here we go. Bigger challenge this week, though.
Much bigger challenge this week.
Chargers are 3rd against the receiver position. So rank these receivers this week. Judy, Tillman, Elijah Moore.
Tillman, Judy, Moore.
8 targets for Judy last week, 9 for Tillman, and 12 for Moore. I will go Tillman, Moore, Judy. Tillman won because of his specific role. He's in the Amari Cooper role, and Winston's willingness to just rip it downfield. He doesn't care, man. He's going to sling that baby.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's why he's my. I'll go Moore 2 and just bank off the 12 targets from last week.
Sure.
Short space, perimeter, Jameis knows to bank off that when he's there, and he'll do it.
Right.
Like he'll take what's there, and I like Moore for that aspect.
Yeah.
And then Judy at 3. Wouldn't be surprised at all if this goes Tillman, Judy, Moore.
Yeah. But I just see Judy as the better receiver.
Sure. I have this thing for Moore though, man. Like I never understood what happened after the rookie year what happened. He was fine. He was better than fine.
He was supposed to be really good.
He was really good. His rookie year, it's like, what happened? Why you guys are just like, you know what? We don't want to be that good.
Yeah.
We're just moving off of Elijah. And he's just been buried ever since.
Yeah.
So weird. I'm kind of pumped for Elijah Moore, man. I'm going to keep my eyes on this.
Sure. Hopefully Jameis learned from Joe Flacco last year. He threw to Elijah Moore, so maybe.
Yeah. Nick Chubb, 16 carries last week, looking healthier.
Mm-hmm.
The fantasy points really didn't show, but if you are to go back and watch some of that, he's doing Nick Chubb things. Now, it didn't all come together. He looks healthy.
Yeah, he looks okay.
So how do you feel about putting him in your lineup this week? The Chargers are 3rd against the running back position.
Yeah, I don't want to start him this week. Because you drafted, if you drafted him, you drafted him with your last pick and just
way late
stashed him on IR. So you can probably get away with not starting him this week.
I would be okay with flexing him. If it's I guess I have to go to the waiver. No, don't go to the waivers. If this is what you got to do, it's okay to flex Nick Chubb. Don't go to the waivers.
Yeah,
flex him.
Right.
Okay, but if you don't have to,
right,
it's fine.
Right,
it's fine. Give it another week. Start Njoku. That's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah,
at all. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. This one's going to be quick. You ready? Let's move on to the Patriots at the Titans. Yeah, so I've got less than a paragraph for this one. It's literally just a few sentences. So,
yeah.
I got to imagine May is going to miss this game. Same reasons we talked about for Tyrone Tracy. They always miss a game with a concussion, as they should.
Right.
Regardless, this Titans defense is brutal.
Right.
And I have zero interest in any Patriots. How about you?
Yeah, I want nothing to do
I
with
want to fade all of them. And what sucks is where you took Stevenson. If you didn't get off him by now, you probably have to start someone like Stevenson. And that sucks. I would love to fade it. Can't really go to the waivers at this point. So you might be stuck. If you can avoid it, you should.
Right.
As far as the Titans go, actually, let me ask you this. The Bucs play the Chiefs. Bucky Irving or Ramondre Stevenson? Right. There's a really good chance Bucky's on your bench. Give me Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Okay, as far as the Titans go, I'll start Pollard as long as he plays. He's questionable with a foot. It doesn't say, it just says foot, so I'm not real sure. I don't know. I think he dealt with it last week and he played. If he's healthy, you start him. What are we doing with Calvin Ridley and this crazy target share all of a sudden? No Hopkins. Can we lean into that?
I want to see one more week of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see one more week of it. And he's going to get the Christian Gonzalez effect this week. So you're probably not going to see it this week.
This feels like the final score is going to be like
6-3.
15-6. Like just some terrible,
yeah, I don't know. I don't like anybody from this entire game.
No, I like Pollard.
Pollard. I do like Pollard.
And Ridley, if those, 15 targets, I believe. I don't have it pulled up, but I think it was 15 targets.
I know it was a lot. And he did a lot with it.
And like, we can't argue against ourselves. What do we say? Follow the volume.
Right. It does seem like Calvin Ridley still gambles on games, though. It does seem like that. Like a few weeks ago, he dropped 4 catches.
Yeah.
And like, all of a sudden,
you're going out on the craziest limb ever.
I don't know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, as far as this whole game goes, I'll start Pollard if he's healthy. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't have any interest. Smash the Titans defense this week.
Yes.
All right, that's it for that. You got nothing else, right?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to the Cowboys at the Falcons. Dak Prescott. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions against the Niners. You going to fade him moving forward? Falcons are 18th against the pass. To me, he's a start this week.
This week, you can start him. When they go and play the Eagles, are you going to start him?
Dak's an Eagle killer, man. I know we're sitting here as Eagles fans. You have to admit it. Romo was an Eagle killer.
I know
Dak
he is
an Eagle killer. They just are for whatever reason.
But he hasn't looked good this year.
No, but you can bet he will against Philly. That's just what he does, man. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'll come into Philly and drop 350 and 4 touchdowns. That's just what he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. Things do seem like a mess in Dallas. They really do.
There's a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
The Dowdle thing.
Yeah.
There's something to that because Ezekiel Elliott would have been the guy who got scratched. Zeke's not going to let himself be scratched.
Right.
And then Dowdle is seen hanging out with fans, practicing 100%, warming up before the game. And then all of a sudden he's sick like an hour before the game.
He could have ate something bad. Something could have definitely hit him.
These guys are so careful with what they eat on game. Like, come on.
Michael Jordan, wasn't it? Remember the food poisoning thing? I still don't know what to think about
the flu. Come on, that was the flu game.
Dude crushed it though. It was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of odd. It's like the most unforeseen sickness ever.
Yeah. I
don't know. Dak's tough. He is a tough one. I'll start him against the Falcons. I don't love it. You going to go to the waivers? Like, you going to play Trevor Lawrence over Dak?
No.
Right. Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
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 He's not really on waivers at this point, though.
No.
Bo Nix?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll go Bo Nix over him. Okay. Yeah. The running backs, yeah. What do you do here?
I don't know.
It's an avoid.
If it's not Dowdle, then
I don't want anything to do with it.
I don't want anybody.
I agree.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb. Woo. 13 catches for $146 and 2 touchdowns.
That's the guy you drafted to be the guy.
Jalen Tolbert. He was a waiver guy. Dropping or holding?
Hold.
Agreed.
Hold.
Yep, I agree.
It was only 3 catches, but
he's not been, he became a hot commodity. Everyone got him, and then he let everybody down. Right. Me being one of them. But if you go back and look at his game log from week 1 on, 2, 14, 13, 5, 21, 8, bye week 7. He's 1,000% capable of getting you 13 plus. Sure. He really is. It doesn't take a lot.
It's almost like a boomer bust play.
He is. He's a boomer bust.
And you're going to take that with a lot of guys. So maybe Jalen Tolbert is one of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 games with 13 or more, and then 4 single-digit games. He's boomer bust, but I don't think he's a cut candidate. At the end of the day, he is the second receiver on that team. He's not second in targets, but he is the second receiver on that team. Like we come on, Kevontae Turpin. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. That's another thing. I don't know what Dallas is doing. I don't understand. Like, you got Dak, you paid the guy. Teams figure this stuff out. You've got CD there. You've got Ferguson. Why in the hell is your running back room what it is? Why?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't know. Jerry's world is falling apart.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson. Every week.
Every week.
He is 2 in targets. He's second in targets. Yeah, every week, man. The tight end landscape, no, we haven't said that really much in a while.
Yeah,
it's getting better. Actually, the tight end landscape is getting better.
Yeah, after last week, too.
Boy, those
National
first few
tight
weeks.
end week.
Yeah.
and they showed up.
Boy, the first few weeks with tight ends were just brutal.
That was pretty bad.
It's starting to open up now, though.
Yeah.
It is.
He didn't gain a ton of yards, but he had the targets.
Yep.
And he's going to be fine.
Yep. I think he had like 8 fantasy points last week.
Yeah.
8 and up is kind
That's
of what you
probably
want.
his floor.
Yeah. He was like the one tight end on National Tight End Week. It just
That didn't do it.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins over to the Falcons side should be fine. He is. I will say though, he is as hard to trust for me as Dak is. I will take Cousins over Dak. Kirk Cousins is not easy to trust.
Right.
He's not. He just sometimes he has these games. It's like, what are you doing? And it's every couple of weeks.
This isn't a primetime game. He should be fine.
Yeah. And it's home.
Right.
But yeah, give me some Cousins this week, man.
Yep.
The Cowboys defense just looks softer by the week. I get they're banged up. I understand that. But
sure, but
boy, take advantage of it.
Then Trayvon Diggs had like an explosive moment in the locker room after the game, freaking out on a reporter. Telling him,
I missed that.
He's like, you can't do what I do, which is true. Okay. He's not wrong, but like, why are you yelling at the reporter? Just go to your locker, dude.
It's as bad as that player years ago. They were getting booed off the field, and I cannot remember who it was for the life of me. They're getting booed off the field, and he made a comment to either reporters or went social media and said, oh, you guys booing us, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't do what I do. You don't do what we do. Like, you just focus on your job at McDonald's. It's like, hey, buddy,
pay your salary.
Dude that works at McDonald's is buying those damn tickets to show up to your game. Deal with it, millionaire. Yeah. Deal with it.
Right.
Quit being a baby.
Yep.
You played like shit, and the people that played it paid a ton of money from, yes, they're much lesser paying job than you, bought those tickets to come support your ass. Right. So stop. Right. I hate that. You can't do what I do. Yeah. No kidding. That's why I'm holding the microphone talking to you, asshole.
Exactly.
I hate that so much. Sorry for swearing so much all in one tiny little piece, but I hate that, dude. It infuriates me. It's like they put themselves, every now and then you get these guys that put themselves on these pedestals. Just like just a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care. I hate Deshaun Watson. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. You're not going to change my mind on that.
Right.
And all those guys upset for him getting booed. It's like, he broke his tail every week, and you don't see what we see, and he tried so hard, and that's not laughable, man. Like, you don't laugh at somebody when they go down like that, and blah blah blah. And we have a problem with it. And it's like, well, I have a problem with sexual assault and rape, so too bad. Deal with it.
Right
now, go be a millionaire. You got away with it. Good for you. Go be your millionaire. I don't care about your Achilles. Let's go, Jameis.
Right. Let's go, Jameis.
So I just don't have any room for that. Like, it's like, because you're a professional athlete, you don't get to deal with it.
Yeah. If I do bad at my job, I get pulled in for write up or whatever your job does.
Right.
You need to be held accountable for
take the criticism. Yeah. And then go home in your Lambo to your mansion.
Right.
Deal with it. You'll be all right.
You'll be okay.
Anyway, Bijan Robinson. It's just, he's a smash start. Like, let's not get it messed up here. But, man, this Algier thing.
Can you start both of them?
No. I'm not. I can't do that. I want Algier if I have Bijan for sure. And he's like one of those handcuffs you pay a little bit more than what you normally would. Like, maybe even Charbonnet.
Right.
But I think this is as important of a handcuff as we know and think that Charbonnet is. This is even more important.
Yeah.
Listen, 12 carries, only had 33 yards, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, it's still 12 carries.
Right.
Now, if he's going to like downslope, me and Ty talked about this last one on the last show. Even if they're like, well, let's take a couple carries away and put him over onto Bijan, that's great, but he's still getting 10 carries and stepping on Bijan's toes. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like it does suck, but I understand it from a real life aspect too. If I'm the head coach of a team and I have Algier and Bijan, there's no way Algier is just standing on the sideline for 4 straight quarters.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
So as long as he's there, I don't know what his could this be his last year in Atlanta?
I don't know.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll look into that because that would be huge for Bijan
right
next year. Looking ahead, but you start Bijan. You have to do it. It is what it is. And you're pretty happy about it overall.
Right.
Receivers: Darnell Mooney, Drake London, tight end, Kyle Pitts. Pitts had 2 touchdowns. Mooney had 1 for himself. Drake had a bit of a down week here last week, but they're all starters.
Yeah, I think so.
It's nice to see Pitts starting to compile games. There's consistency now.
I'm not going to say anything. Don't try to trick me into it. I'm not going to say anything nice about him. I'm staying on the negative train.
Yeah. So he stays positive.
Yeah. That guy stinks. Terrible.
Yeah. Right. It is good though. Like for those that have him, it's like, oh, finally, I'm one of those guys. I have him in 2 leagues, 1 redraft, 1 dynasty, and both tight end premium. So it's been nice here lately. Yeah. Darnell Mooney, he has insane upside as a flex because that's what he is. He's a flex.
Yeah.
He was almost a freebie at your drafts.
Yeah. I was working on a trade for him this past week, and the guy wanted Garrett Wilson, and he sent me Mooney, and it was a running back. I don't remember. Good running back though. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to lose Wilson. I didn't take it. The more I see Darnell Mooney, the more I regret it. I think Darnell Mooney can put up Garrett Wilson numbers, and I would have had a starting running back to go along with it.
Real life wise, forget fantasy for a second. I watched Darnell Mooney, and it's like, oh boy, you are playing with a breath of fresh air. He looks really good. He doesn't just look like some quick slant slot guy.
No,
he
does a lot.
Does do a lot.
And he did that for the Bears too, but
right, you forget. It's easy to forget how they were just so terrible. And this is like, he's one of those guys where it's like, I'm so glad you got a second chance.
Yes.
It didn't just fall by the wayside, kind of like a Hunter Renfrow,
right? Or
even like an Elijah Moore.
Sure.
Like he got the second chance and was like, yeah, here we go. I will be the 2 on this team. I don't care. You drafted that kid. I know, but I'm the 2.
Yeah.
And he took it and ran with it. And it's awesome. You can flex him every single week. If you have buys or health issues, you can put him as a receiver too. I don't have any problem with it. Nope. They're all starters moving forward. All 3 of these guys, easy, no problem. Drake London, set it and forget it. Pitts is getting to set it and forget it. Nick's negative. And Darnell Mooney, set it and forget it. And your flex, your wide receiver too, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I like them all. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Let's move on to the Raiders at the Bengals. Avoid the Raiders. I will, in a pinch, I will start Madison. It's volume. It's just volume. Last week you had the Chiefs. It is what it is. Where are you on Madison?
Pretty bad last week, even with the volume.
Against the Chiefs.
Against the Chiefs.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Everyone has.
Yeah.
Madison's had a lot of good weeks.
He's done enough.
He is a serviceable flex and will give you from time to time RB2 numbers in a pinch.
Right.
So I just traded for him.
Yeah.
He's one of those. I've been talking about it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. You make these tiny little moves. There's some spots throughout his schedule from now to the end where you can start him. You certainly can.
Right.
This is one of those little ones that everyone looks at as like, oh, that's kind of an insignificant move. They scoff at it. They forget it even happened. They don't even notice that he's on your roster. And next thing you know, he's putting up 16 points and winning you round 1 in the playoffs.
Right.
It's one of those sneaky things where it's like, yeah, he's hard to lean on, but where else are you going to find 20 touches? That's valuable.
Yeah, it is.
You chase the opportunity, and
sure.
It is what it is. So Madison is not my favorite play this week. Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, definitely. Way over Madison. Not even close.
Right.
Myers was really good last week.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he's the guy here.
Happy to see him healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Yeah.
Been hurting me to see him on the bench.
I like all 3 of these guys. I don't think the Bengals defense is anything to worry about. I think if you have to, you can start Madison. And I don't have any problem at all flexing Myers, and Bowers is
you're tight. Yeah.
Every week. That's not even a question. But there's nothing else for the Raiders. That's it. Do you have anything?
No, that's it.
All right. Joe Burrow. What are we doing here? He should be an every week start. Like it sounds so weird and feels so weird to send him to your bench, but I don't know, man.
The Raiders are sneaky good defense.
They are.
So
not necessarily against the run, but this could be a nice Chase Brown week.
Could be. Could be.
He should be.
Yeah. The touchdown saved him last week. He didn't look great, but that's
that Eagles
defense is for real.
The run D is very good.
Very good.
They are.
Yeah.
This is Raiders are not
right.
They're around 20th against the rush. So he's an RB2 for me this week, Chase Brown.
Yeah.
But back to Burrow quick. Are you starting Burrow this week?
Like to not, but you probably drafted him to be your starter.
I think a big problem is when T. Higgins does not play.
I do think
it seems to be like a real issue.
Yeah.
T. Higgins day to day, but Zach Taylor says he's making good progress. So keep your eyes on it. You're obviously starting Chase every week. You're starting Higgins as long as he's healthy. And if they both play, you can feel a lot better about having Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay. And Gesicki, he's like the boost when there's no Higgins.
Yeah, when there's no Higgins, Gesicki is a legit tight end.
So when Higgins is in, you fade Gesicki. When Higgins is out, you can spot start him.
Yeah,
good enough. So.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to the last game here. The Broncos at the Ravens. Bo Nix. It's getting better every week. Does this continue?
Absolutely.
I think so too. The Ravens are not good in the air. They're great against the run, but you can just sling it all over them. Anyone can.
Yep.
Even Jameis Winston.
Everybody
can.
Yep.
So I think they're worst. Are they worse in the league?
Yeah, they're tied. They are tied with the Panthers for worst in the league.
Start Bo Nix?
Absolutely.
Start Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams. I don't know, man. You wanted him to have 2 bangers in a row so you can move off him.
Yeah.
You're stuck now.
Yeah.
And I'm in that party. I'm stuck with Javonte, and I'm just going to have to ride it out.
Try to get rid of him, but I don't know what you're going to get. It's not going to be much.
Would you start Javonte or would you start Alexander Madison this week?
Alexander Madison matchup based.
I can tell you I traded for Madison today having Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams is now on my bench.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of Sutton, it's just Sutton, man. I'm not buying the Troutman thing. Not buying little Jordan Humphrey. I don't know. Should I be buying little Jordan Humphrey? Nah.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know, man. In Baylor,
it's
too much of a dart throw.
Yeah, I think those two get around 3 to 5 targets a game. So you're not getting a ton of volume. I don't know. I'd like to see Bo Nix get a legit. I think Cortland Sutton is a wide receiver 1, but now add another receiver to that mix, and then we're talking.
So do I get to take a victory lap on Sutton today?
Sure.
Listen, again, what do we always say? It looked ugly. It looked ugly.
Volume.
There was that one game where Bo Nix had like 90 some yards, and literally Cortland Sutton had all of it.
Yeah.
And people were like, and I'm like, good, great. He had 9 targets and caught every single one of Bo Nix's air yards. Fine.
Yeah.
I don't care how he gets there. And he scored a touchdown. So you follow the volume. Bo Nix was progressing. As Bo Nix progressed, that volume was going to mean more and more and more. And now it's starting to show.
Yeah.
If you held on to Cortland Sutton, and I know a good handful of people did, some people cut him. If you held on to him, good for you.
Yep.
Because I think it's only going to be like, that's probably about as good as it gets. I think it was 17 PPR points.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good.
He was a free pick.
Right.
Lamar Jackson. Great against a tough defense last week. You're starting him every week, so don't get cute. It is what it is.
Right.
Derrick Henry, you start him every week. He is absurd. He makes no sense to me. And guys try to tackle him, and then they're out for a week. It is the most bizarre thing ever, dude. It's like trying to bring down a maple tree.
Yep.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
The guy's an anomaly, or a unicorn, as they say. The receivers, I don't know, a little more interesting now. Deontay Johnson. Does this open things up for Zay Flowers, or does it dial them back and make things tougher?
I think it should.
We kind of touched on this, but
yeah, I think it should help.
The rapport is already there.
Yeah.
The rapport needs to get built with Deontay.
Yeah.
I think Flowers is fine overall. I think he's that dude in this offense.
Deontay, the last couple years, is in the top 10 for route win rate almost every year.
Yeah.
So he can really run a good route. And if that's what it takes to get people off of Zay Flowers at the line, great. More screens, more short routes, and then Zay Flowers goes back to 15 catches a game.
Right. Yeah, again, Zay Flowers, he's a smash start every week.
Right.
You can't start Deontay yet, I don't think.
Not yet.
But in a couple weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Just keep your eye on it. If you have him, it might be, and you've been leaning. It could be a little frustrating for a couple weeks, but just sit tight.
Yeah,
hang tight. Don't let that guy come in and snipe you because they see it coming.
Yeah,
just sit tight as long as you're winning. If you're losing, it'd be okay if somebody come after you. But if you're winning, just sit tight.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. Who we starting?
I don't know. 4
catches last week for Likely, 5 for Andrews.
Yep. And Andrews gets the touchdown.
It's Andrews for me.
So I think it has to be Andrews just because of the touchdowns this season.
Imagine if this gets going and like you just added Mark Andrews in like week 4. And you already had
I would love to see both of them get going. But now those are the two that I think take the hit from Deontay Johnson coming in. When Deontay Johnson starts getting the targets, these two both fade back down.
Well, I'll tell you right now what I'm doing. It's probably tough because the tight end landscape has opened up.
Right.
It's better. But say you have Brock Bowers, say you have Travis Kelce, say you have any of these guys that are, top tier, been doing good. You added Mark Andrews in week 5 because he was available. You're struggling. Trade the guy.
Yeah.
Find the team but the problem is like guys can start Zach Ertz. Guys can start all these guys that you just picked up and added. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But if I had Andrews and I was able to add him for free, and I already have a tight end I've been playing every week, I am trying to move Andrews, and I will do it cheap just for that. I will send him to somebody, and people may look at it and go, well, why did you even take that player? It's like, as you look at his schedule, week 15, 16, and 17, I don't need Mark Andrews right now. Give me the guy that's going to help me when I do make the playoffs.
Yep.
That's the way I'm looking at that.
Right.
All right. That's it. That's all of our games. You have anything else?
No.
All right. Last segment here. Let's move on to Nick's Week 9 Boom List.
Boom. So interesting enough, I have the same QBs this week that I had last week. Bo Nix is going against the Baltimore Ravens. They're the 31st against the pass. That one was pretty good for me last week. He showed up and showed out, and I expect him to do the same this week. Sam Darnold's going against the Colts. They're 24th against the pass. He wasn't as good as I wanted him to be last week, but this is a good week for it.
Sam Darnold looks like a Super Bowl winning quarterback when he has time.
Yeah.
When he does not have time,
it's not good.
He struggles with pressure, and it sounds like he just lost Darrisaw for the year, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
Right.
Just putting that out there.
Sure.
But against the Colts, I'm all in.
Yeah. Then I have Tony Pollard. We talked about him going against the Patriots. They're 22nd versus the run. He's the only player you want from that entire game. So, and then Bijan Robinson versus the Cowboys. They're 31st versus the run. DeAndre Hopkins, after last week, didn't see much, but this is the week for it.
This one's interesting to me. I was surprised when I saw this on the list.
Yeah.
All right.
I think one full week of practice should give him enough time with Patrick Mahomes. I think they're both elite players. They can get it done. Tampa Bay's 29th versus the pass. You can definitely take advantage. Xavier Legette versus the New Orleans Saints. They're 28th versus the pass, and he just became wide receiver 1. And especially if Andy Dalton is there. Then I have Travis Kelce, also a Chief, going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 31st versus tight ends. They're allowing 11 points per game against tight ends, which isn't, you would think that's not great. It's, not many teams are allowing points to tight ends.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Kelce's back. It feels like Kelce's back. Now, there was a national tight end week. Sure, but they got to lean on somebody here.
Yeah.
It's Kelce's fine.
Yeah. And then I have the Titans defense going against the New England Patriots.
Come on, man. That had to have been the hottest pickup this week.
Everybody went and got him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good list, Nick. I like it.
Sure.
All right. You have any final thoughts?
Let's get some deer in the. Let's see that 8 to 10 point, which I still don't have a clear image of, but I think he's an 8. I would love to see him come by this week. Put some meat on the table. Bring you guys some cheesesteak.
Yeah. Do you not have a dough tag?
I do. Wait.
Just take a dough, man.
I know. I'm just waiting a little bit.
Don't do that to yourself.
I know.
Get the meat. It's to
I
eat
know.
anyways. Who cares?
I know.
Get yourself some meat. They taste better anyway.
That's true.
How about you, Mitchell? What do you got?
Happy Halloween to everybody. Hope you get more treats than tricks.
Yeah, right. And I hope you don't have to clean up a lot of toilet paper off.
Yeah,
Whatever.
why? I feel like that used to be a thing.
They died out a lot.
I don't see houses TP'd anymore.
No, because kids just aren't. They're just not little savages like.
Oh
we were.
yeah, dude. I
Oh.
used
No,
to
they're
see-
savages. They're just savages on the internet.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, that's. A
I would
very
get dressed in
valid point.
black. I'm
Oh,
black.
yeah.
We'd
Oh,
get in
yeah.
my mom's car.
You'll just get shot today. That's
Yeah,
part of the
that's
problem.
true, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody
That's
sees you
true.
sprinting around their yard and they just see shadows, like
Yeah.
bullets are probably coming
Yeah,
in. In today's world, man, you can't be doing that.
That's
Running
true.
around private property. The baseball team I coached decided to do it to me one night, and I had no clue what was going on. The dog barked. This is when I coached the junior high ball team here in town. They just, hey, let's go toilet paper coach. And there's a handful of them, and they did. And I heard a thump, and my dog barked. My brother's dog was here, barked, kind of hollered at her. And I got off, laid down. Then I heard the thump, and I'm like, oh, I see what she's barking at. I got up, I walked out front, and I just saw like shadows running around my yard. You know what the first thing I did was?
Grab a gun.
I went and I pulled a pistol out of the side of my bed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on? I had my dog ready to go out. I kind of did chew on the kids a little bit. I was like, dude, I live on a dead end dirt road.
Yeah.
There's no lighting up here, and I don't even have any trees. Like, I mean, in my yard, I'm surrounded by woods, but in my particular, I was kind of mad at him. It's like, what if I let that dog was rearing to go, man,
Yeah.
and I had a gun in my hand, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And where I live up here in the sticks like this, like,
Watch out.
You gotta be careful.
just randomly shadows running around. You can't be doing that stuff anymore,
Yeah.
man. People are apparently a little too on edge.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
My
Fair enough.
final thought is just simply listen, make the small moves.
Yeah.
Make the small moves. If you're winning, make the small moves. Sure up your team. And also, if you're losing, roll the dice.
Yeah.
Like, let that stud go for 2 or 3 guys and try to fix it. Don't just give up.
Sure.
Don't give up. Make the small moves if you're winning. Get your Alexander Madison. Well, seriously, get these cheap guys that can help you down the road. Okay?
Right.
All right. That's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support. Remember, our PPR Superflex Dynasty rankings are now available in the description. Just click the corresponding link. They are available as well on our Twitter. Also, check the description for instructions on how to get your trades graded. Come on. We want to grade some trades. Join us next time for a Week 9, Sunday 4 o'clock, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football game slate preview. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. It's the only way we can make it, guys. See you next time, everybody.
See ya.